Hey guys, what's going on? Well, you guys asked for it, so here comes part 2. If you haven't seen part 1 of this Star Wars fanfiction, then go over to my channel and give that one a watch first. Otherwise, this one will, not make that much sense to you. Now, let's get into part 2 of What If Luke Never Gave Up in The Last Jedi. Jakku, asked Ty. What will we find there? Luke couldn't shake the cloud of darkness that now consumed his mind. Palpatine was dead. He had seen his father kill the Emperor. The Sith were now extinct. But that girl, those eyes, that laugh. An old enemy, Luke said, thought to be long gone. The 4 Jedi made their way to the Padawan's ship. It had been damaged in their pursuit of Ben Solo, but was still flyable. Hopefully the ship's integrity would hold up until they reached the junk planet Jakku. Once they were there, it would be easy enough to repair or buy a new craft. Vo took to the pilot's chair. She was the more natural flyer of the two. You think that's the best idea? Joked Hennix. The last time you were sitting there, we almost died. Cool your jets, just sit down and let me fly, Vo retorted back. Luke went into the back of the craft. He sat and began to empty his mind until nothing remained. But the Force did not grant him any visions. Only time passed. Eventually the ship made it to Jakku. The brown planet reminded Luke of his home on Tatooine, where he was just a simple farm boy. That all felt so long ago, like it was a different life. Jakku didn't have much as far as settlements were concerned. However, there was a small trading port that was close by. Nima Outpost. Well, they had to start somewhere. Who are we looking for? Hennix asked. That girl from her vision, Ty said. How are we going to find her? Oh, the Force will guide us, Vo said a little sarcastically. She wasn't wrong. The closer they got to the outpost, the more Luke could feel the pull of the dark side. He hadn't felt something like this in years, ever since he confronted the Emperor. Something was at work here, something sinister. They landed the ship on the desert planet, and before the ramp even dropped, they had traders and scavengers already bartering with them for its parts. Vo denied all offers, saying it wasn't for sale, and that if anyone touched it, they'd have to deal with her. At first, the scavengers didn't believe her, but a quick flash of Vo's lightsaber made them all rethink their decisions. Luke made his way through the outpost, observing the people. Everyone seemed to be tinkering with one thing or another. A real scrapper's haven. It made sense. Luke had been here during the Battle of Jakku, the last great battle of the Galactic Civil War. Literally hundreds of ships, both fighters and capital ships, had crashed on the planet's sandy surface. If you knew what you were looking for, there was a profit to be made. So, people came. Looking along the outskirts of the settlement, he saw a small girl, no older than 13, dragging a sled full of parts across the desert floor. He saw a darkness surrounding her. But instead of the fear and panic he had felt when he saw this with Ben, he felt compassion. She was so young, and she looked as if she was lost. He didn't approach her, but simply observed her haul her findings to the trader and turn them in one by one. He could sense the anger in her expressions as she felt that she was getting cheated. The much larger Krolute paid no mind to her and simply moved on to the next seller. The child kicked up a cloud of dirt and slowly began to walk away, dragging her now empty sled behind her. Luke began to follow her until she suddenly stopped and turned to face him, her deep brown eyes staring at him. There was no mistaking it now. This was the child they were looking for. The young girl walked up to him, unafraid and almost comfortable. I've seen you before, she said. In my dreams. He told me to stay away from you. Who told you this? Luke asked. The bad man, she said, as if Luke should have known who she was talking about. The 3 other Padawans came up behind Luke. The little girl stared at all of them in awe. I've never seen anyone like you before, she said, pointing to Hennix. Vo laughed. He's scary looking, huh? The girl didn't respond, but instead turned back to Luke. Are you here to take me to my family? Now that they were here and this child from his vision was in front of him, he had no idea what to do. Master Yoda had always told him to trust in the Force, but the Force was being unusually quiet at the moment. Why don't we all talk first? Luke said. The girl nodded and said that she could take them to her home, saying that she didn't have much, but she was willing to share what she did have. The group made their way through the desert until they came across a fallen AT-AT. The hole had been cleared out and this girl had made a hobble here. There was a small bed and a fire and several marks on the wall. What are these? Luke asked. Markings, she said. one for each day since my family left. Luke sat down, as did Hennick's tie and bow. What's your name? He asked. Rey, said the child without looking up. She eventually sat down after putting some food on the fire. What are you doing here? Luke asked. I'm waiting, she replied flatly. For my family. Luke wondered at the situation. He could feel the immense Force potential coming from her. She was obviously incredibly gifted in the Force, but as far as Luke was aware, had no training whatsoever. Perhaps her parents discovered her Force powers when she was young, and were afraid, and not knowing what to do, just left her here. Whatever the reason for her abandonment, Luke could feel it. Her parents were never coming back. Rey, Luke said, I feel like I need to know something from you. I know, she responded. The bad man told me that you would want to know about him. He told me not to tell, that he would kill me, kill my family if I ever told anyone. But he doesn't know where I am. He can't see me. It makes him really angry. But he speaks with you, Ty said. Rey shook her head yes. Only sometimes. Whenever I'm quiet and alone, that's when he comes. Sometimes when I'm sleeping. Luke knew that there had to be a way to peer into the mind of this child, to see what she could see, and to unravel the connection between her and Darth Sidious. Rey was staring at him again, her big brown eyes making Luke feel uneasy. You want to see him, don't you? She said. I want to know who he is, and where he is, Luke replied. Rey looked down at her feet. Are you going to kill him? She asked clearly and concisely, as if the bad man's final extermination was the only solution. Luke swallowed hard. If there is no other way. There is no other way, Rey said firmly. I'll take you to him, but only if you promise to kill him. Okay, so there we have part 2. Luke has found Rey. So like and comment below if you guys want part 3. Also let me know what you think. I actually have part 3 and part 4 written, and I'm thinking about making a part 5, and that would probably be the finale. So let me know if you guys want this story to continue. I really loved making this video for you guys. I'm a storyteller at heart, and even though that this is all fan fiction and nowhere near the actual canon, I still enjoy it. Anyway, that's it for today's video. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for more Star Wars content. And remember to forever be a Star Wars fan.